Hola amigos, bienvenidos de nuevo a mi canal. Si es nuevo aquí, mi nombre es Williams-Bea. Bienvenido, bienvenido, bienvenido. Now, before I get started on the topic of this video, I just want to thank all of you, my viewers, my subscribers, my new subscribers who have become a wonderful part of my community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you are a returning viewer and you've been following me for a while but just haven't subscribed yet, I would love for you to subscribe. Also, please give me a thumbs up because that gives us a stronger presence and voice within this platform. Muchísimas gracias. Okay, the comment section was getting really heated on the video I shared about my first Italki session. I got people who thought I was complaining, ranting, being very negative. I was even called a professional complainer. I didn't even know that complaining was an actual profession. But that same person went on to express that they were seeking a genuine experience. Apparently, I didn't serve what they were looking for. To each his or her own. I understand that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I pray they find someone they can resonate with. I really do. There is somebody out there for everybody, and everyone has a right to express their opinion. And I'm very respectful of that. So, while sharing my real life personal experience, yes, it was a rant, and yes, it was a complaint. And the people who left those comments were actually doing the same. That's what real life humans do, right? Just because I'm on YouTube does not exempt me from being human. This channel is about sharing my learning journey over 50, and I'm sharing the good, bad, and the ugly when it comes to this journey. And I want my community to be based on real, unique life experiences. I like to seek the best in everything. So I really tried my best to make that italki experience positive, and I tried my hardest to adjust or cushion the presentation of my experience to make the situation more palatable. I did my best, but I'm not going to twist and bend it to make certain people comfortable and only to make it something it was not. Yeah, you have the wrong person because that's just not who I am. Also, I chose not to disclose the tutor's name because he has really great reviews. Just because he wasn't right for me doesn't mean he isn't going to be right for someone else. So I didn't feel the need to broadcast his name. And I refused to give him a bad review only because I personally didn't feel it was necessary. What if he was just having an off moment? I just chose not to move forward with him. I personally believe that he would do much better with a more advanced student. Some people just can't do beginners. Like, I can't do little bits. Toddlers up to the age 9 is not my jam, okay? Infants are cool, teenagers and teenagers are cool, but that one age group, so I understand. I totally get it. We just weren't a good fit. So with all that being said, this video is not to apologize for anything I said in my previous italki video, but to share my experience with an italki instructor based on the recommendations I received in the comment section on that video. Clayton C. recommended I try Martha, aka Lily or Liliana. The name sounded familiar, and when I went to search for her, I noticed that I already had her saved in my favorites, so she was actually up next on my list. I was also recommended by other viewers to go with an instructor instead of a tutor, and Liliana is an instructor. She is also from Colombia, which is really cool. I read that Latin American Spanish is easier to learn and understand. I personally feel, based on my experience, which isn't a whole lot of experience, Latin American Spanish is much easier to understand. I don't know. My Spanish learners, what do you think? So I was really excited to schedule a session with Liliana. Immediately after scheduling my session, she reached out to me through Italki. We chatted back and forth. I had a chance to get a little acquainted with her before my session. So when it came time for my session, I was nervous, but not like before. The whole reaching out prior to our meeting served as an icebreaker for me, and my nerves settled rather quickly within our session. Liliana asked me to tell her a little about myself in Spanish, and I came prepared this time, y'all. She also asked me about my morning routine, which I struggled with, and what I plan to do the following week. Since I'm not familiar with many future tenses, I use voy a lot. So she stopped me and said, no, use the future tense. Man, she got me on that one. Apparently, I'm not the only one that takes that easy route, but I'm cool with that. It challenges me to really get busy with my conjugations. I'm slacking, y'all. I am slacking on my conjugations, but I am determined to get back on it. When she asked me my age and I responded, Tengo 54 años, she was shocked. But what came next was very important to me. Liliana never once discouraged me from learning a foreign language. Matter of fact, she was very encouraging and presented me with options that would suit my needs and preferences as an independent learner. She just made me feel very relaxed, very comfortable. It was overall just a really pleasant experience. She gave me a little quiz on Gustar, and she showed me pictures of people doing different activities, and I was to explain what was happening in those pictures in Spanish. I did the best I could with the words I knew. It required a lot of gerundios or gerunds. In English, these are verbs you add ing to. So if you take the word talk and add ing, it would be talking. However, in Spanish, the infinitive for talk is hablar, and you would replace the AR with ANDO, changing it to hablando. And I've had a lot of practice with Jen. She gave me her assessment, advised me that I did really well. However, there were some things I missed with Gustar. I don't use Gustar often, but I really thought I knew more than what I actually did. I use querer a lot. So, a few days after our session, I was watching Peppa the Pig and I saw how they were using Gustar. I just need to really practice it and use it more often. In this instance, a George le gustan los aviones. I didn't realize that I needs to come before the name. I didn't know you use le for third person. I know te and ne, and I didn't know that gustar reflected the noun that follows it. And in this case, it's aviones, which is plural. So you would use gustan. Also, it's important to put los in front of aviones. I tell you, when you feel you are getting the language down, there is always something that comes up to remind you that you have a long way to go. But hey, just keep on moving. Liliana also texted me my results. We didn't make it to the final portion of the assessment, which was no problem. It was no biggie. She told me it was no problem. I pretty much know what to expect at the next session as far as talking about my day, my plans for the next week. These areas I need to practice anyway. And I get to select what I'd like to talk about, which is really cool because that way I can prepare. I felt very comfortable with her. She is very personable, and I just have this warm feeling about Liliana. We also have a lot in common as far as the desire to travel to different countries, the love for languages, books. I like it that she is very professional, timely. I didn't feel rushed, which lets me know that she's pretty structured and organized. And she asked me how I would like to continue. I just told her I needed to think about it and get back with her. Although she did make recommendations based on my preference as an independent learner, right now I'm undecided and still have some questions to help me make a final decision. However, I know that I can just text her my questions and I feel comfortable with doing so. After the initial session, she reached out to me multiple times. We've stayed in contact for the last few months. And I really appreciate her reaching out to me, getting those messages, hola, ¿cómo estás? Like, hello, I'm here. Don't forget about me. My experience with Liliana was just what I was looking for. The only negative I had nothing to do with her. I need a speaker for my laptop because I was really struggling to hear her. Her accent on top of the low volume was a strain for me. But I feel really good about moving forward with her. Matter of fact, she reached out to me just the other day when I was about to reach out to her. I feel that Liliana is passionate about what she does. She's caring and patient and is genuinely committed to my success as an adult language learner. That's what I got from her during our session. I had a list of other people to check out, but for right now, it's just going to be Liliana. Another language learner recommended to go with at least 3 because it helps you to get used to hearing different people and each one brings something unique to the whole learning experience. Right now, I can only fit 1 into the budget. I feel there are other ways to get that interaction in the meantime. As I earn more, I can add more if I feel it's necessary. I am headed to Hawaii in October. So after my trip, I will be looking into scheduling sessions with Liliana. For a little bit there after the first tutor session, I thought maybe I should just wait until I'm more fluent before getting help. But that is probably because I got the feeling from my first session with the tutor that I needed to be more fluent. And as I mentioned earlier, some people just really don't have that kind of patience when working with beginners. So, like I said, I get it. I understand. I feel that Liliana is someone who has the patience to teach a beginner like myself. So I will provide updates on my journey with Liliana. So keep your notifications on. Thanks again to Clayton C for making this recommendation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And everyone else who made recommendations. I still plan to check out the other recommendations as soon as I get settled into my sessions. Then I believe I will have a better assessment for the next course of action. So yes, that's my update on my search for a Spanish teacher. Thanks again for all the recommendations and suggestions and your continued support. Man, I just love this community so much. I do. If you'd like to see more on my Spanish journey, you want to check out these videos right here. Gracias por ver. Los quiero mucho. Paz y que Dios los bendiga. I will catch you on my next video.